now. Relax.
Okay, we are rolling.
Oh.
Whistle wet there?
And excuse me for asking, but you know, you did white balance.
Yes.
Okay, okay. You know, they hold me responsible for that. I'm sorry.
We're ready to go.
All right. And we're rolling? Daniel, welcome to Texas.
Thank you so much.
It's wonderful to have you, and thanks for taking time to do this interview about layer cake.
My pleasure.
I have to tell you, I didn't know what to expect when I went to see this film.
Oh, good.
And I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, even better.
I mean, it's a ride and a half, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's you know, I'm very proud of it. I mean, it's not something I usually sort of get involved with, but I got sent a script, and it was such a good read, and it's from a great novel. If you get the chance to read the book, it's a great novel, and it was too tempting.
So you had not read the novel ahead of time?
No.
After you got the script, did you read the novel?
Oh, straight away, yes, yeah.
J.J. Connolly?
Yes, that's right. And he also adapted with Matthew Vaughn, the director, he adapted the novel into the script. His first draft, I think, because he'd never adapted, he'd never written a script before, was like 460 pages long. So they had quite a bit of work to do to get it down to the sort of to the shooting script that we used.
What did they have to condense, or what did they have to leave out for people who know the book?
Well, it's quite accurate. It's quite it adheres quite closely to the book, but it's just that when you're making a movie, obviously for obvious reasons, you can't put in every detail. But what Matthew and JJ did very well, in fact, is they combined some characters. So some characters' experiences were when they became one person.
Your character has no name. It's just listed in the credits as XXXX.
Or deleted. I quite like the name deleted. I don't know.
What did they call you on the set?
Oh, no, I can't tell you. Depending on what mood I was in.
Did it bother you that the character didn't have a name?
No, not at all. You know, when you have a script as good as that, and when I think I made a little backstory for him before I started shooting, but I tend to do all my work before we start shooting. So I couldn't for the life of me tell you what I'd made up, but we were telling just this story. So and you know, in movies, sometimes invariably in the first couple of scenes, the leading character, the name will be said about 20 times. Hi Joe, you're a surgeon. Hi Joe, you're a surgeon. So you know who they are, but it wasn't necessary in this. I think we sort of set up the character very very quickly with the voiceover, and we sort of know who he is. I don't think we need to label him.
Did you ever ask J.J. Connolly, the author, why he didn't have a name for you?
Well, the discussion being is that, and I think that J.J. is very accurate about this, is that the criminal world that my character exists in, is that the criminals who are successful and make a lot of money are not the people who drive the flash cars, are not the people who have the gold around their neck and sort of make a loud noise. They're the people that you and I walk past every day in the street, because they don't want to be seen. They want to get on with their job very quietly, and they want to sort of make as little noise as possible. So that's really the reason he was nameless.
Why is it called layer cake? Has nothing to do with baking.
No. Well, except there's a cake in the last scene. But that's just thrown in there. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for life, but it's a metaphor for the criminal world that he exists in. So, you know, if you're on the plate, you're at the bottom, and the idea is to get to the top to be eating the icing.
It is a crime thriller. And your character is, where is he fitting in the story?
Well, he thinks, at the beginning of the story, we meet him, and as in a lot of crime thrillers, we have one more job to do before he gets out. He thinks that he's got to the place where he wants to be in the world. He thinks he's safe. He thinks he's secure. He thinks he's got control over the life he leads. And as we'll see, if you see the film, you'll see that he doesn't. He loses just about everything.
Fabulous cast, isn't it?
It's pretty good. Makes my job really easy. I don't have to do anything. I just come on and watch them work.
Had you worked with any of these people before?
Michael Gambon, yes. Michael Gambon and I have worked together before. He's a wonderful actor. We did a stage play the year before we shot this in London together, just the two of us. So we were quite close.
How long ago did you shoot this film?
We finished summer God, what year are we now?
2005.
But we are 2003, end of summer 2003. So it's already been released in the UK, and so this is just sort of the beginning of the US part of it.
Where all did you shoot it?
In London, just London. I mean, one of the main reasons, the conversations I first had with Matthew Vaughn when we first met, was that he wanted to make London look as cinematic as possible, which I think he succeeded in doing. I think it looks very beautiful. But we did luck out. We had a very warm summer, which, if you know London, is quite unusual.
I was there one time, though, during Wimbledon, and it was just like being in Texas in August.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh, it can get like, that's rare, but it can get that once every couple of years. It does that.
And my hotel room was not air conditioned.
Yeah, we don't understand that sort of idea. I mean, there's a very little point when it doesn't get hot all the time. So yeah, air conditioning is a sort of a.
But you know, if it's a 5-star hotel, it ought to be thoroughly air conditioned.
Do you want me to go back and complain? Because I will.
No, they since have done something about it.
Have they?
Yes. I wrote a nasty letter.
You did? Okay.
Telling them just that.
Oh,
if you're a 5-star hotel, you need to be thoroughly air conditioned.
You're right there.
Anyway, that aside. You grew up in Liverpool.
I did.
Beatle country.
It is, yeah.
Did they inspire you at all to get into the business?
I don't know whether they inspired me, but I think Liverpool there's a very healthy art scene, and especially when I was growing up in the 70s in Liverpool, there was a very healthy theatre scene at the Liverpool Everyman and the Liverpool Playhouse. There's 2 theatres there, and my mother had a lot of her social life was at the theatre because she knew a lot of designers and directors, and I think I may have got the bug just being in the theatre. I mean, I used to go and see plays, and we were lucky enough to go back and sort of meet all the actors, and I thought these people sort of were gods. I just didn't realise they were drunk.
Now you know.
And now I know.
And now you are one.
And now I am.
An actor, I mean, not a drunk.
That's fine, don't we?
Did you ever see the Beatles perform?
Oh no, I'm not quite that old. My father, though, did. He was at sea. He was and he saw them. They used to go to Hamburg a lot when he was at sea. So he saw them in Hamburg in the, I think it would be really early '60s. So, never know. I mean, there's always this sort of joke if you grew up in Liverpool and your father either went to school with John Lennon or your mother sort of knew John Lennon. But actually, my father did go to the same school as John Lennon, and there are some connections there. My step-grandfather knew Brian Epstein, the manager of the Beatles, very well. So, but it's a small place.
7 degrees of separation, maybe.
There you go.
Well, we have to deal with this thing now. James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
I read one place that says it's a done deal. He's going to be the new James Bond, and then I read someplace else, no, he's being considered, and this thing about whatever $1 million it is not a done deal. So you're the authority, you're the source. What's the deal on James Bond?
I think what you have to do is you just have to draw a line between a lot of it, and somewhere in the middle there's the truth. But to tell you the truth, I don't know. When I was in Austin filming, and I suddenly got lots of messages on my phone saying congratulations, and I was like, well, what have I won? I mean, this is great. I've known Barbara Broccoli for years because we share a friend who sadly died last year. So I've met her, so you could say I've had a meeting with her, but there's an awful lot of smoke and very little flame at the moment. But if it was to come along, I don't know, I'd very seriously consider it. But I can't give you a yes or no answer, I'm sorry.
Now you're saying you would consider it. Why aren't you saying, if it's offered, I'll take it?
Because it's my life, and I have to think about these things very seriously. I mean, I would give it very, very serious consideration, but it's quite a tough one. I mean, it's a huge opportunity, but it would be life-changing, and I'm not sure that I'd want to change my life in that way. I haven't given it that serious a thought yet.
Do you, excuse me, do you have a favorite Bond movie?
Goldfinger. I think it has to be Goldfinger. It's one of the most stylish and almost one of the most credible in a way. even though it's, you know, because they all sort of, you know, get quite incredible, but that's almost the sort of robbing the gold reserve sort of makes sense. Maybe they should make a remake of that.
If you were to do James Bond,
Hypothetically speaking.
hypothetically speaking, if you were to do James Bond, what kind of a guy would you make him?
The Bond movie I'd like to see would be where you don't actually know whether this man may live or die. Because if you can get that back into the movies, then you'll get the audience believing in it again. I think that if you set up a character who you know from the beginning is just going to come on and save the world and that's it, then you have a formulaic movie. Do you have a character who comes on and you actually believe during the movie that they're in danger, then I think you thrill an audience more.
In the movie Layer Cake, of course, you have very dark hair. Now I'm looking at you and it's very blonde hair. Which is the real hair?
Oh, with the layer cake, it's pretty close to me. Both my parents are blonde-haired and blue-eyed, so I'm somewhere in between. There's sort of some Irish in there as well, so there's probably a tinge of red. I don't know anymore. I'm in sort of like I dye my hair back and forth so many times for jobs now that I'm never sure what color I am. It's pretty white underneath here, I'm sure.
What is this movie that you just made in Austin?
It's a film written by a director and writer called Douglas McGrath. It's called Every Word is True, and it's based around Truman Capote's experience of writing in cold blood, which was sort of 57, I think, with the murders in Kansas, and we shot in Austin. Don't ask me why it's a movie. But it was fantastic to shoot in Austin. I play Perry Smith, one of the murderers, and he has it's about their relationship and about the effect of writing the book had on him, and it's about how, you know, the question of whether if you have one piece of art in you, whether that's all you can do. Sandra Bullock plays Harper Lee, and there's someone else who theoretically, I suppose, had one book in her. But Gwyneth Paltrow is in the movie, Isabella Rossellini, Sigourney Weaver, Juliet Stevenson are all playing sort of small parts in the movie. So it's a great cast and wonderful script. And a friend of mine called Toby Jones is playing Truman Capote, and he's wonderful. So I hope it's going to be a fantastic movie.
And when will we see that?
Hopefully the end of the year. I don't know an exact date, but the end of the year.
If you could talk to Robert Blake, would you want to ask him anything particular?
No. I don't know if I'd want to talk to Robert Blake.
He was in Cold Blood.
I know, what a fabulous movie. We nod to that, but that's not really what the movie is. I mean, the movie does include the sort of quite graphically the murder and what happened, but that was about the murder and their experiences. This is more about Truman's experiences.
That sounds like a good movie.
I hope so.
Yeah, that sounds like something I'll want to see for sure.
Good, yeah.
Daniel, thanks for your time.
Hey, it's a pleasure.
Really appreciate it. And again, congratulations to you on Layer Cake. And if the other thing comes about, I will give you early congratulations on that as well.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Okay, now these